How's it going, YouTube? My name is Ari and welcome back to Blue Lion Finance. Now, if you are just stumbling across Blue Lion Finance for your very first episode, I want to welcome you here with open arms and sharing with you that this channel, Blue Lion Finance, is all about investing as well as my very own personal journey to amassing $100,000 within my Vanguard brokerage account. Now, as of today, that account is sitting at $70,647.05. It's actually been quite volatile, chasing the market, but I believe all this market volatility within the past few days is all due thanks to Janet Yellen's remarks regarding interest rates. The big question looming on our shoulders is, are interest rates going to go up? Are they going to remain the same? Regardless, all of this uncertainty and all of the volatility within the market just creates an incredible opportunity for investors like you and I to double down on our positions. So there's absolutely no better time than now and no better video than this one to go ahead and watch through and through, because in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 8 Dividend Aristocrat stocks that I truly believe are currently undervalued, and getting invested in them today, holding for the long term, is simply going to yield you an incredible return on your investment. So just before we actually get started, if you could ever so kindly tap on that thumbs up button, it certainly helps me get the word out there and of course growing this Blue Lion Finance channel. Moreover, if you have not already subscribed, go ahead and just tap on that subscribe button for me. I'd love to have you along for the journey with me. But YouTube, with all of that being said, let's get right to it. So before we go any further in talking about these 8 different Dividend Aristocrats, what I'd love to do is talk about what exactly a Dividend Aristocrat is and why you should absolutely consider each and every Dividend Aristocrat to include within your very own personal portfolio. So a Dividend Aristocrat is simply just a company that's listed on the S&P 500. It's been around for quite some time, usually pretty established, but when it comes specifically to their dividend, they've actually been paying out and increasing their dividend payments over 25 consecutive years, which means they are incredibly safe investments for long-term investors looking to make out over the long run, not only just having that stock value increase over time, but of course collecting on the dividend payments themselves. But with that being said, the very first Dividend Aristocrat I want to talk about is Coca-Cola. That's ticker symbol KO. When it comes to Coca-Cola, I am certain that I don't need to go far too much into detail about the company itself, but there are some things I want to mention. The very first is the fact that Coca-Cola is one of Warren Buffett's all-time favorite investments. It's one of his top 5 holdings over at Berkshire Hathaway. He's been a long-term investor of Coca-Cola, of course, collecting on those dividends. But when it comes to that dividend, their dividend yield is at 3.11% as of right now. They have paid out dividends and increased those dividends for 57 straight years. But wait, there's more, because this stock had actually plummeted during 2020 with the pandemic. All the closures meant their sales had dropped, and of course that meant their stock dropped as well. They have yet to actually fully recover to those pre-pandemic levels, still down about 7.4%. So you might as well get invested today on that undervalued stock share price. Take advantage of not only the rebound, but of course just sit and hold tight for years to come, because Coca-Cola will certainly deliver on those dividends. The next Dividend Aristocrat we're going to talk about is Federal Realty Investment Trust. That's ticker symbol FRT. Now, when it comes to Federal Real Estate Investment Trust, we're talking about a REIT, so a real estate investment trust. For all of you out there interested in investing in real estate, now is your perfect opportunity with this specific REIT. They're heavily invested in shopping centers throughout America. They have shopping centers in California, in Florida, and the mid-Atlantic to northeastern regions of the United States. Get this, throughout the pandemic, they were hit pretty hard, just considering that they were invested in shopping centers and a lot of those tenants couldn't make rent, which created a lot of uncertainty. Therefore, their stock share price had plummeted, not yet fully rebounded, and still down about 16%, leaving an incredible opportunity to get invested in it. They have a dividend yield of 3.76%, so a very strong dividend yield. Now, the absolute best part about Federal Realty Investment Trust is the very fact that they've been increasing their dividend for 47 consecutive years. So again, another incredibly safe investment for you to add to your portfolio. Now, the third dividend aristocrat we have here is Kimberly-Clark. That's ticker symbol KMB. When it comes to Kimberly-Clark, they fall within the consumer staples sector. They're primarily focused on producing paper-based personal care products. So I want you to think about, say, diapers or toilet paper. They're gonna be here for the long run. Their stock took a slight beating throughout 2020. Their stock is currently still down about 10.4%. They have an incredibly strong dividend yield of 3.42%, so definitely a number I like to see. But moreover, they've consistently been paying out those dividends for 49 consecutive years. Coming up on the fourth dividend aristocrat here on our list, we have Consolidated Electric. That's Con Ed for some, or Con Edison for others. Ticker symbol ED or ED. What I absolutely love about investing in Con Ed, or any utility play for that matter, is the very fact that utility plays are usually very, very safe. People have to use electricity, they pay their bills, meaning that these companies are very stable companies to invest within. When it comes to Con Ed specifically, their stock is still down about 20.5%. They have a 4% dividend yield, so a very strong number. But the best piece of this yet is that they've been paying out dividends for 45 consecutive years. Now, the fifth dividend aristocrat we have on our list here is Cisco. That's ticker symbol SYY. Cisco is a company that's solely dedicated to marketing and distribution of food products to, say, restaurants, healthcare, or educational facilities, so all of which has been hit pretty hard throughout 2020 in the pandemic. Cisco's stock actually took a massive beating throughout 2020. It has since then recovered and hovering around $83. I wouldn't say an undervalued stock, but definitely a fair stock to get invested in. At this point in time, I have them on the list because they have a nice dividend yield of 2.12%, and they've been paying those dividends out for 39 consecutive years. Our sixth dividend aristocrat is AT&T. That's ticker symbol T. Of course, again, another company that doesn't need a whole lot of detail behind it, but AT&T is the world's largest telecommunications company. It is the second largest mobile phone provider, and overall the parent company to Warner Media. So of course, a lot to cover there. Most importantly, when it comes to the stock and actual dividend itself, is the very fact that AT&T has been paying their dividend for 35 consecutive years. The stock itself is currently down about 18%, and their dividend yield is upwards at 6.62%. So all in all, another phenomenal dividend aristocrat to get invested in. The seventh undervalued dividend aristocrat we have here is Atmos Energy Company. That's ticker symbol ATO, another safe utility play. Again, as I mentioned before with Con Ed, utility plays are very safe because everybody's always in the need to use electricity, and everybody is typically always paying their bills. Now, specifically to Atmos, their stock is down about 8.7%, so an opportunity for you to get invested in that undervalued company, paying a dividend yield of 2.41%. And meanwhile, they've been paying those dividends consecutively for 32 straight years. Now, last but not least here, the last dividend aristocrat we're gonna be talking about is Realty Income. It is yet another REIT, so a real estate investment trust. It is one of my all-time favorite REITs to invest in. They are invested all over the United States, so across all 50 states. They have over 6,600 different properties with over 600 different clients, ranging from Walmart, 7-Eleven, Walgreens, the Home Depot, CVS, and FedEx. You name it, you've most likely stepped onto one of Realty Income's properties. But the reason they are included in this list is because, yes, their stock currently is still undervalued at those pre-pandemic levels. They're still down right now about 13%, but that dividend yield is upwards at 4.08%, so an incredibly strong dividend yield, and they've been paying out those dividends for 25 consecutive years. And that's it. That completely wraps us up for all of the dividend aristocrats that are still currently undervalued right now. I've done nothing more than actually look into each and every dividend aristocrat to where they were before the pandemic to where they are right now. And those are the 8 dividend aristocrats that still remain undervalued, at least in terms of where they were prior to the pandemic. So that means just an incredible opportunity for each and every one of us to go ahead and get more invested into these companies, growing our positions and holding for the long run. Now, if you've liked what you've heard, you've learned something new, perhaps you're going to be adding one of those companies into your own personal portfolio, go ahead, comment below. I'd love to know. Of course, if you haven't already, go ahead and just tap on that thumbs up button. It will greatly help me out in growing the Blue Lion Finance channel. But moreover, if you have not already subscribed, go ahead and tap on that subscribe button for me. I'd love to have you along the journey with me. But as for today, I'll see you in the next video.